Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Viz. Today we are talking about the Barbie trailer. I mean, listen, I already have the video up on the channel, like why Barbie is going to be a masterpiece.
You do.
You know how obsessed I am with Barbie if you're familiar with me. This trailer is pretty great. It sold the film. I think it sold the tone of the film, but it also started to give us a little inkling, a little hint of what Greta is going to be doing thematically, which I'm really, really here for. I think this film's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I still have some reservations about it. I mean, I'll just start off by saying the
Boo.
production. Oh,
It's just booing you.
sorry, you're booing. Sorry, I thought you were interrupting me. I'm not used to being booed about my opinions live. It's not a natural thing to do. Anyway, as I was saying, before you interrupted me, the production design is incredible. Like, look at
Yeah,
what they're doing. All the fact, like, the budget is clear. They're doing everything they can with production, but not only that, the costume design as
the
well. Of
costume.
course,
Yeah,
I mean, it's the
like
Barbie film.
if
Like,
these don't at least get nominations, if not win the Oscar, like something is wrong.
yeah, I mean, we'll see by the end of the year.
At
Who
least the
knows?
nomination.
At
Like, come
least the nominations, yeah. But I do think the tone, and it is, as you say, establishing a very clear tone. It's a very particular sense of like comedy style that it's going for.
can't.
I do have my reservations about that slightly. I don't know if I'll personally be the biggest fan of this sort of style. However, the thematic details you're saying, like religion, potentially gender, all of these kind of stuff, they're being teased, and I'm sure they'll be explored a lot more in depth. But yeah, those are sort of my overall, I guess, main
Yeah.
thoughts coming out of the trailer.
And also, guys, if you didn't read the Vogue article, there's a Vogue article on Barbie. Highly recommend it. Greta and Margot and Ryan Gosling, they all like kind of detail a lot of the themes. Apparently, Greta Gerwig wrote an abstract poem inspired by the Apostles' Creed, and
Yep.
like she talked about a lot of like religious stuff in there, which I thought was quite interesting.
And I mean, Lady Bird explored religion, this
Very
woman.
heavily. Little Women
Yeah,
did as well, kind of. Like I
kind of.
mean,
Yeah, exactly. But
like
so it would
religion and
be in
gender.
keeping with the themes explored
Absolutely.
often in Greta Gerwig's films.
Yeah, absolutely. And like again, I fully trust Greta. Like there's no reason why we shouldn't trust Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, who co-wrote this, by the way. But just
Yeah.
by the way, Noah Baumbach, Oscar nominee. Oh no, it was like also just co-wrote this, so that's cool. But like yeah, like I don't see any reason to not trust their handling of these themes. And yeah, like I trust Greta. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. No, I guess so. And like you mentioned with the first sort of trailer that we got, I guess it was called the teaser trailer,
Yeah,
that what we saw in it would probably be like the first half an hour
yeah,
maximum, probably the first act. And that seems to be the case. It seems to
yeah.
be an adventure with Barbie in the real world, which I'm definitely here for. You know, I don't feel I could stomach a 2 hour film just existing in the Barbie land, to be honest. I think that would, great to know him. But
I
yes,
could,
no, it does seem like they
but
are taking it. Yeah. But no, it does seem like they're taking it in this direction, which is going to be an interesting direction,
yeah.
exploring the sort of modern day thoughts and feelings towards and the mindsets towards a property like Barbie. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, like again, it seems like the villain is Mattel, and like it's looking
It
at
does.
like, I mean, like wealth and greed, and like like corporate feminism, and how like companies will try to present like powerful women, and also just like basically exploit like women's bodies and images for like profit, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really fascinating, and the fact that like this is actually being allowed to be made by Mattel,
Mm.
like. I mean, that was in like the every interview and everything that I've read about this. Like, it's mainly just like Margot and Greta just being shocked that they're even being allowed to make this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
which I think is amazing. Like that's really cool. So, yeah. So like in this trailer, we got to see a little bit more of Will Ferrell. We got to see, as you said, a lot of the quote unquote like real world adventures.
Yeah.
And it looks just like just like fun and very like goofy,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we also start to see some of the stuff that is going to make me cry at the end of the trailer.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
hoping it's able to balance that tone because they are two very sort of different tones they are presenting. But I think this trailer does a
yeah,
good job of presenting how it's going to feel.
and like
Yeah,
intentional juxtaposition, I guess.
yeah, I'm sure it will be intentional. I just think, as I say, the comedy style just didn't really work for me in the trailer, and I assume it will be reflective. I mean, it's a trailer, so it's got to be showing what the film's going to be
Right.
like, and I assume it will be reflective of the sort of comedy scene in the actual film itself. So I'm a
It
little
feels
skeptical towards that. Comedy is very
purposeful.
subjective, though. So if you're loving
Yeah.
it, yeah, you'll probably love the film. I'm sure.
Right. And again, but all of that feels purposeful too. Like it doesn't feel like it'll be
Yeah.
that type of comedy for no reason. like it feels like it's, you know, all for a purpose and to provide basically like the insincerity almost of that world, to then, you know, compare that to the real world and the kind of like the harsh, like, you know, like how people are fake but feigning sincerity. Like there's so many different things. Like, I mean, very, very philosophical film, I
Yeah,
think. Like it's, you know, yes, it's the Barbie movie, but like it's gonna be playing with
but
like a
it's
lot
also
of
the Greta Gerwig Barbie movie. So,
right.
there is a
Like
difference. There is a difference.
it's gonna have some depth.
Yeah,
And I mean, Margot and Ryan just look incredible.
they
Like,
do. They're going for very particular performances, which I'm sure we'll talk about war chances later. I
yeah.
feel like, they might not be for everyone what they're doing in this film, but they definitely seem to fit the tone. They are the perfect sort of castings for these characters. And yeah, they look
Mhm.
like they have a fun dynamic as well, which I'm sure will be integral to the film. It seems like their relationship is going to be quite key. So, yeah.
Yeah. But also, like, I think we're gonna see them have some of those more like heartfelt, more meaningful, more emotionally impactful moments.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Yeah.
So I don't think it'll all just be this like high camp, goofy comedy. So I don't know.
No.
I just I know I've been hyping this movie up for so long, but like I do genuinely think that this movie looks very good.
Yeah,
Like
I'm sort of hoping this is an almost, I guess, not clickbait trailer, but baiting audiences to come in expecting this sort of high camp, high energy comedic style, and then really deliver with the sort of more, thematically resonant moments. I'm hoping that is the case for this film.
and I kind of think that's what it is. Like I
Yeah,
purely think this trailer it's selling general audiences while also teasing at what the core of the film really is.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Which I honestly think is just like kind of a perfect trailer. Like if that ends up being what the movie is, like it is, like, you know, delving a lot more into that depth once we get into like the second and third act. Like this is kind of a perfect trailer for
Yeah, yeah,
selling everything about this movie. So yeah. Let's talk about this one's Oscar buzz. So Best Picture, obviously we still think it can happen.
yeah. I mean, Warner Bros. Obviously, there is a issue there. They've got three.
They have
One
three.
is going to have to drop, but like, I don't want to pick one at this stage. So I feel like it's safer to just keep all three in, especially if this is a big summer hit, which it looks like it will be. The buzz around this film is like
It's
pretty, like
currently tracking very well
it's
for box
reached the
office.
mainstream audiences. People are excited, like lots of people are excited. So I'm sure it
Yeah.
will make money. I'm a lot more confident now than I was maybe 3 or 4 months ago when I was like, well, is this just an awards bubble sort of Twitter thing?
No,
But no,
it's
it
reaching
seems
an
to be
audience.
reaching mainstream audiences. It seems like it's going to be a success. Will it make more than Oppenheimer? Is the question. I'm not sure. Potentially, it's going to be an interesting race to follow throughout though. That
Absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I don't know. Like I still feel good about Best Picture as of now. Like this could win comedy musical. Like sure The Color
it could.
Purple's there as well, but I mean it could win comedy musical. Like let's be
Yeah,
completely
especially if
serious.
it is riding that line between, it's got the comedic elements, but there's also that sort of backing with the emotional drama. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that
And
is
there
even
is
more.
musical numbers apparently.
There
So
is, there is. It does seem like, I mean, like we didn't speak about it, but the announcement of everyone involved in the film soundtrack it's stacked. It is incredibly stacked.
yeah, yeah. So director, I think as well is a possibility. I mean, as we like very obviously a strong directorial vision. Like it seems
Yeah,
like Red is doing a lot. So I don't think that this is one of the first things to come along. I mean, obviously she didn't get the nom for Little Women. But if this does end up being big, then
then
I
potentially.
could see director coming along. I could see it coming
Yeah,
along.
no, agreed, agreed. I think director is definitely plausible for this film, especially since if it does have those Greta Gerwig sort of keystones, then yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Actress Margot. Um, some people are less confident. Like I don't think she's like winning competitive necessarily, but
No,
I think she can get the nom again.
yeah, I mean, I mentioned potentially it won't appeal to everyone in the academy. I still would be
Yeah.
saying her in for the mom because I do think enough people will be going for a
Right.
performance like this, especially since we've also got things like Emma Stone in, which apparently, of all I've heard about that, that could also be a bit sort of out there, a bit more of a
Yeah.
quirky performance. So perhaps this year they just decide to embrace that and
I mean,
something like this
Michelle
does make
Yeoh just won for doing what like
exactly,
a
yeah,
comedy sci-fi thing and everything ever. So like,
yeah.
if Barbie's a picture thing, director, all these types of things, why would the main lead
I
not
don't see
come
how
along?
Margot Robbie wouldn't come with that. No.
Exactly, exactly. So we also have Ryan Gosling, supporting actor. Now he's been the one that's been getting all the hype and all the buzz.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's going to be quite a meaty role for him. I mean,
Yeah.
based on the trailer, obviously Barbie is the main star. She's the titular character,
Mhm.
but there's a lot of Ken. I'm sure Ryan Gosling will have a pretty big role, and not only just in the film in general in terms of the plot and all of that kind of stuff, but also in the thematic detail that they're exploring. So
yeah, I mean, it seems like he's gonna kind of be the focal point of all of the thematic
yeah.
exploration. So I think, I mean, people are saying like win competitive.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I don't know if it necessarily is win competitive, just because, as I say, again, not all the Academy will rally around him. I'm sure
No,
that
we
will
don't
be a
know
case
that. I
for
mean, they did Jamie Lee Curtis.
They did
Like,
actually. That is true. They did do
like
Jamie Lee
I don't
Curtis.
just want
So
to keep on pointing back to Everything Ever All at Once, but I think that like last year was really important in showing that like this new expanded, more diverse, bit younger Academy is more open to just kind of going for the performances they like, regardless of genre, regardless of what the film is. So
yeah,
I
potentially.
could see a narrative forming. Like if people really like him, if people really like the movie, he's never won an Oscar. Like it's in supporting, so it's a lot more manageable. I don't know.
I feel like he's the most likely to win if anyone will win. I wouldn't be predicting him though.
Yeah. And then I'll just put someone for supporting actress.
I mean, there's so many people in this
There's
film.
so
It's
many,
going to be
and I don't
impossible.
feel confident enough yet. Like America Ferrera, I know is like one of the big ones. It won't be Kate McKinnon, but I love the shoe thing. Anyways, so silly. But yeah, America Ferrera is the big one, but we'll just leave it blank as of now, just a supporting actress. And then screenplay. We don't know if it's original or adapted. So, because adapted is like based off of a previously existing characters or property, but this isn't characters from a previously existing film. It's a toy, and something like the Lego Movie was submitted into original screenplay. So that leads me to believe that Barbie would also be original screenplay, but like it could also just as easily go adapted. So we really don't know.
No, I mean, we don't know. I mean, there's a case we made that perhaps the just originality of this screenplay would cause people to want to vote for an original screenplay, potentially.
Right. Because like it isn't based on a previously existing story, and it's taking previously
No.
existing characters, but the characters are toys, not like existing characters in film, TV, or literature.
It'd be very funny if this is classed and adapted just because of those animated cheap Barbie movies, because it's adapted from that. Apparently.
But like it isn't adapted from that. So like,
I know. But
yeah, it's weird. Right. Yeah. So it's weird. We don't know if it's original or adapted.
The way it gets nominated, probably.
I think either way. I mean, I think even if this film isn't like picture, director, Margot doesn't happen, but like I still think it could end up being like production and costume, screenplay, or something like that.
Yeah, I do think screenplay could drop off if the film is not necessarily a major hit. Like I don't know. I think
that's the strongest of the above the lines, though.
Probably. I do think the technical things are more.
Like I think production design and costumes is a lock. Like no matter what happens. Like I just kind of feel like that's a lock.
Presumably. I mean, they'll probably be some of the biggest in terms of just the boldest sort of stuff.
I think that's the floor. Like no matter what, it gets production design, costume, noms. If it does like really well, then like maybe it can like win those categories and get above the line. But
potentially, I wouldn't say that's the floor. I could see this film if sort of voters or critics really don't go for it.
Okay. Well, if this is getting like a 40 on Metacritic or something, but as long as it's like mixed reception, does decently well, like
should be.
And then I do think that screenplay, regardless of category, is the top one of the above the lines. And like if it's really good and people really like it, it could be win competitive if it's in like adapted, which I think is the easier category as of now. Like
yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, cinematography, it's Rodrigo Prieto. I think if he gets in for anything, though, it's Killers of the Flower Moon.
I mean, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, the cinematography, it's obviously very pretty looking, but I don't know if it will be the most talked about element.
Scream cinematography nom. Editing would only be if it's a massive hit. As we talked about, production design, costumes, maybe makeup as well could all happen.
Potentially, that could just come along with a costume.
Sound, depending on how big the musical numbers are. We'll see how that goes. So original score is interesting because the Splot reportedly dropped out and is being replaced by Mark Ronson and Andrew Wyatt. And from what we've seen, what we've looked at, they haven't scored a film before, but they are Oscar winners.
They are.
Because they co-wrote and produced Shallow.
Yeah, they seem to be more on the producing end of music, which suggests to me that potentially the score for this film will be sparse, to say the least, and potentially it is more about the musical numbers. I mean, as mentioned earlier, the stacked number of musicians in this. So it does suggest that potentially the score won't be the main aspect of this film.
Yeah, which might have been why the Splot dropped out, because he just wasn't being asked to do that much. I mean, because we were getting an original song from Dua Lipa, which that's obviously contender for nomination. And I mean, like the list of people is insane. Like it includes like Charlie XCX, Ice Spice, Pink Panthers, Nicki Minaj, Lizzo, Ryan Gosling's doing a
And
song,
also
Tame
good for him, yeah.
Impala, Gailey, Dominic Fight, like Ava Max, so many people. Haim, like
Yes, yeah.
it's a ridiculous amount of people, and I mean I even left out a few. So I think we're seeing a big soundtrack, lots of musical numbers, and an original song, maybe. So
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, if it's one of the bigger musicals of the year, which you'd expect it to be, potentially it could even be contending in a win in original song.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So those are its awards chances. Those are our Oscar buzz predictions as of now. Just a general overview of what this film could be looking at, what its ceiling, I suppose, is.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited about this, clearly and evidently. Any final thoughts?
I mean, I'm still looking forward to it. I still think there'll be a lot to at least appreciate within this film. It looks like it should at least be good. Hopefully, I mean, look at the team.
I think it's going to be maybe my favorite movie of the year.
It could very well be yours. Yeah.
That is a Robbie trailer breakdown. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. You can follow us on the social media thingies in the description if you would like. But we will see you guys soon for some more canon coverage, some more trailer stuff, some more movie reviews, all the things. Till then, stay safe, everybody.